guys, I'm Sunny, and in this video I'm gonna rank all the Lightmending devices to find the best one out there. I'll be judging the 12 devices based on these 5 criteria: name creativity, user friendliness, locating crystals, recharging sky kits, and getting around the area. This way my judgment won't be too personal, but hey, these are basically still my opinion. You can pick whichever device you prefer. Alright, let's start with the first one, the Fragment Finder. First off, the name is really solid. It's exactly what it does. I'll give it 2 out of 3 points since it's not the most creative name. Using this device is actually super easy. It doesn't take long at all to light it up. Loading takes a few seconds, but after that, boom, the laser points directly to the crystal. And even though there's only one of them in the area, they're pretty easy to locate through the light beam coming from it. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 3 points. Now for this criteria, I want to give the Fragment Finder 3 points, but sometimes it does get kind of tricky to follow the beam when the generated map is full of big buildings. In my opinion, I do like the challenge of trying to follow the beam, but I get why others would find it frustrating or useless. 2 out of 3 points for me. And for the last 2 criteria, this device automatically gets 0 points, since it doesn't have the ability to recharge you, and it also doesn't help you to get around in the area. Which means the Fragment Finder gets a total of 6 out of 15 points. Next we have the Light Launcher. The name kind of confused me at first, because it kinda sounds like it's gonna launch the crystals, or like light itself, whatever that's supposed to mean. I get that they're making names with the same first letter for both words, but it doesn't really work for this one. 1 out of 3 points from me. Using this device can be tricky, but after a while it's easy. The loading time for the launcher platform is just long enough to get into position. Sometimes I still miss it, but it doesn't really matter because it shoots you up either way, so you still benefit from it. To me, it wasn't clear that the arrows on the launcher actually symbolize the direction you were gonna get launched to. I thought it would just shoot you up and that's it. But I do think it's cool that it can shoot you in different directions, since they can spawn directly underneath other structures. One thing I do find annoying is that if one goes off near you, but you're not even like touching it, you still get launched, which can be annoying. I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. Now for locating crystals, I should give it 0 points, but I'm still gonna give it 1 point. Hear me out. Technically, the device itself doesn't do anything to directly locate crystals for you, but it shoots you so high up, you get a great overview of the area, and like 99% of the time, you discover a new crystal in a spot you hadn't looked before. This device immediately recharges you as soon as you get launched, which is a big pro. No matter how many wings you've unlocked or how little energy you have left, you get an instant full recharge, which is insane. I have to give it 3 points. And for the last criteria, I have to say this really is my all-time favorite device. Like I said, it shoots you up so high, you get a great overview of basically the entire area without even spending a single bar of your wings. No explanation needed really, 3 out of 3 points. Which means the Light Launcher gets 10 out of 15 points. Next up is the Observation Orb. I think the name is okay for this one. Not my favorite name, but it does describe perfectly what this device is for. I'll give it 1 out of 3 points. Now, I don't know why, I've seen many people struggle with this, but this device just doesn't work most of the time. I think it's supposed to absorb you and just like take you along with it so you can observe the area while floating in the orb, but all except one of them don't work at all. The orbs are also quite fast, which can make it even trickier to get into one. I hope this gets fixed in the future, but for now, 0 points. The device itself doesn't locate any crystals, so 0 points for that. And for the next criteria, I thought it didn't recharge you, but it does. That's a big plus point. You can just hover in the orb and look around while also being recharged. That's great. 2 out of 3 points for that one. And lastly, it does kind of help sometimes with getting around in the area, especially when it goes up, so you can just jump out and glide around high up in the area, but it's not great. I'm not gonna risk my time and wings to try to get into an orb that might not even absorb me. Using one of the other devices is way easier. I'm gonna give it 1 point since they're so broken. This means that the Observation Orb gets 4 out of 15 points. Then there's the Crystal Caller. Just like the Fragment Finder, it describes exactly what it does, but there's no creativity, so it gets 2 out of 3 points. When it comes to user friendliness, this one is pretty good. It's very easy to activate like the Fragment Finder, and then it immediately starts calling, so there's really no waiting time at all. Everyone in the area benefits from this one, so that's also really handy. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 3 points. For locating crystals, this device is okay. In my opinion, it's great for when you're not the one using it. If you're already flying around and someone else uses it, you truly benefit from it. But if you're the one using it, you only get 10 seconds to quickly get up, fly around and try to search for the honks from crystals, which with limited wings can be quite tricky. I think for me, half the time I use it, I can't find my way around the area fast enough to actually reach a point where I can see a honk coming from a crystal. Oh, and also, the honks don't pass through solid structures, so any crystals hidden around the corner still can't be seen. That's why I'm gonna give it 1 out of 3 points. Recharging Sky Kits and getting around the area both get 0 points, which means the Crystal Caller gets 6 out of 15 points. Up next is the Portal Platform. To be really honest, I think this name is boring. It's a portal on a platform. Yep, no creativity whatsoever. 1 out of 3 points. When it comes to user friendliness, I think this is a really good one. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is walk through it. No need to light it or perfectly land on it. Just walk through it. Easy 3 out of 3 points. However, the device itself doesn't do anything to locate a crystal for you, but I do have to give it 1 point just because it teleports you to a different part of the area, which can help you find a new crystal you didn't see before. This device doesn't recharge your Sky Kit though, so it gets 0 points for that. And for getting around in the area, I think sometimes it helps, but sometimes it can be quite useless too. If the platform spawns in a hidden corner of the area where a crystal could be hiding, then yeah, it's great. But from what I noticed, the device usually spawns in really obvious locations you can easily reach with other devices or just flying yourself. There are usually around 3 pairs of this device in the area, but they all look identical, so you have to memorize yourself which ones are connected. That's why I'll give it 1 out of 3 points. So the Portal Platform gets a total of 6 out of 15 points. Then we have the Descent Diminisher. When I first saw this name, I actually giggled. To call an anti-gravity device the Descent Diminisher, that is just perfect. 3 out of 3 points for me. The user friendliness of this device is 50-50 for me. It's super easy to use, you can even use it mid-flight. Just jump or fly straight through the screen and it's activated. No waiting time. However, personally I think it's super annoying that it activates the no gravity effect for everyone in the area. Personally, I find the controls tricky with anti-gravity. It takes a while to get used to it. But if it's your favorite device out there and you used it 100 times already, I think it can be pretty useful. So I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. This device doesn't do anything to locate the crystals, so I have to give it 0 points. It also doesn't recharge your Sky Kit, so I should give it 0 points, but since it really helps with flying far and high without using energy, I'll still give it a single point. For getting around the area, I think it's an okay device. For flying up, it's great, don't get me wrong, it gets you really high, really fast. But for landing, it's horrible and so slow. The controls just get really sensitive and personally I just don't like it. Like I said, it takes some time getting used to, so it gets 2 out of 3 points from me. This means the Descent Diminisher gets 8 out of 15 points. Alright, we're halfway. Next up is the Isolated Illuminator. I don't really get the isolated part of the name. Is it called that purely because the effect only activates for you and not the other people? Half of the other devices do that. I'm gonna give it 1 out of 3 points. It sounds kind of sad. Just like some of the other devices, this one is pretty good when it comes to user friendliness. All you have to do is light it up and that's it. However, people have mentioned that sometimes when you activate it, it pushes you away, which is weird. So I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. The Isolated Illuminator doesn't do anything to locate the crystals, so 0 points for that. However, it's great for recharging your Sky Kit. It fast recharges your wings for 10 full seconds, which basically means you can flap your wings 10 times in a row without losing any energy. So it's great to get you somewhere really fast or just save up on your energy. I have to give it 3 out of 3 points. The device itself doesn't do anything to get you around the area easily, but I'll still give it 1 point because it does get really easy to fly around for 10 seconds due to the short energy boost. So the isolated Illuminator ends up with 7 out of 15 points. Then there's the Sparkle Scope. Name-wise, I do kinda like this one. I don't know what sparkles got to do with it. Probably because crystals sparkle or something, but the name just sounds fun. So I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. I'm not sure if this is the best device out there though. You're stuck to a cutscene that shows you a glimpse of a crystal's location, but it does take a while. Also, if you use it after collecting all the crystals, you get this vignette effect on your screen, which only disappears when you teleport out of the area. So I think I'll give it 1 out of 3 points. When it comes to locating crystals, it's also not the best in my opinion. It shows a static view of the location, but it doesn't show the exact location. You still have to figure it out yourself where it is. I think this one is only good for when you're up for an extra challenge, then it can be fun. But if you're only here to collect wax, this one is bad. I'll give it 1 out of 3 points. And for the last 2 criteria, it doesn't recharge the Sky Kit and it doesn't help you get around the area, so 0 points for both of those. Which means the Sparkle Scope gets 4 out of 15 points. Next is the Spiral Summoner. I kind of like the name. The device summons a spiral, simple as that, but it does sound kind of magical. I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. In my opinion, the user friendliness of this device is not great. It takes a while until you've lit both orbs, and the spiral could have been so much more satisfying to walk on or glide down on, but nope. It's at that perfect height where you kind of have to awkwardly hop up. Also, the spiral path goes through other objects, so half the time you can't walk the entire path. I've seen some people mention it gives them motion sickness because the camera has to follow the Sky Kid walking the spiral path. So I'm just gonna have to give it 0 out of 3 points. There's too many downsides in my opinion. The device itself doesn't help with locating crystals, but since it helps you get to places you maybe couldn't reach before, I'll still give it 1 out of 3 points. The device doesn't recharge the Sky Kit, so 0 points for that. But yeah, it is supposed to help you get around the area. However, it's not that great in my opinion. Like I mentioned before, walking up is kind of slow, and for going down, why would you walk down this spiral if you can just jump or fly down? Look, if you could slide down really easily and pick up on some speed on the way, that would have been great. But nope, you just gotta awkwardly walk down. And like I said, it goes through objects, so you're better off just flying around. It's 0 out of 3 points for me. That means the Spiral Summoner ends up with 3 out of 15 points. Then we have the Flight Facilitator. Okay, I know English isn't my first language, so I had to look up what facilitator means. It means making something easier. I'll get back to that, but name-wise, I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. Now, user-friendly? Absolutely not. Yes, it's easy to activate, just stand in it and press the button, but my god, when you've been launched into oblivion, you can barely control your Sky Kid or which direction you're flying. You can't fly up while being boosted, and going left or right takes ages. Oh, and you can only use the device once in the entire activity, not even once per wave of crystals. Which means this one truly deserves 0 points. This device doesn't help you locate crystals, and it also doesn't recharge the Sky Kit, so 0 points for both of those. I'll be generous for the last one and give it 1 out of 3 points. Yes, it gets you around the area. Most of the time you have no idea where you're gonna end up, and with how many bruises, but hey, the idea was there. That means the Flight Facilitator gets 3 out of 15 points. Almost there. Up next is the Energy Exciter. The name is cute. It sounds like fun. I like it. I'll give it 3 out of 3 points. User friendliness is good, just like the isolated Illuminator. This device is almost exactly the same as that one, with just a couple of differences. One being that this one activates the boost for everyone in the area. That's a really nice feature. No one's gonna complain about unexpectedly receiving that boost. Since the effect lasts longer than the isolated Illuminator, I'll give this one 3 out of 3 points. This device doesn't locate crystals for you, so I have to give it 0 points. However, it's pretty good for recharging a Sky Kid. It's a bit slower than the isolated Illuminator, so this one gets 2 out of 3 points. This device also doesn't help you get around the area, but I'll be generous and still give it 1 point, since it does get a tiny bit easier to get around with the extra energy boost you get from it. Which means the energy exciter gets 9 out of 15 points. Alright, last but not least, we have the translucent transponder. I kinda like the name. It sounds very sci-fi, and it is more creative than most other names. I'll give it 3 out of 3 points. User-friendliness is good. I mean, yeah, loading time is kind of long, but the all-seeing power you get from this device is insane. It is super easy to use its power though. All you have to do is look around. It might take a bit to find your way around again after leaving the device, but it's so good. Also, it's supposed to give you only 5 seconds of usage, but right now it's most likely bugged and has no time limit at all, so it's super overpowered. With the 5-second time limit, I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. Now, for locating crystals, this device is perfect for when the area is super crowded and full of big buildings. My guess is that it'll be kind of useless when the area is quite empty, but maybe it comes in handy for that last hidden crystal you're looking for. I'll give it 2 out of 3 points. This device doesn't recharge a Sky Kid, so I have to give it 0 points. It also doesn't help you get around the area, but I'll still give it 1 point since you now have a clear direction of which way to go. So that means the translucent transponder ends up with 8 out of 15 points. Alright, that was a long list. Here is the final scoreboard. With just 3 out of 15 points, the Spiral Summoner and Flight Facilitator are, in my opinion, the worst devices out of the entire bunch. Then with 4 points, we have the Observation Orb and Sparkle Scope. One's just too broken and the other is only good for when you're up for an extra challenge. 3 devices have scored 6 points total, and those are the Fragment Finder, the Crystal Caller and the Portal Platform. I think 6 points is a decent score. It has a specific use, but it's handy when used in combination with other devices. Then, with 7 out of 15 points, we have the Isolated Illuminator. It's a pretty good device, around the middle of total points, so yeah, good one for when you need a quick recharge. Alright, third place with 8 points are the Vincent Diminisher and Translucent Transponder. These are so good, in combination as well actually. You got the perfect device for finding crystals, and another great device to get you there. Second place with 9 out of 15 points goes to the Energy Exciter. It's a very good device for recharging, and the fact that everyone in the area benefits from it, that's a really nice bonus. But at the first place is my all-time favorite device with 10 out of 15 points, the Light Launcher. It's good for finding crystals, great for an instant recharge, and absolutely top tier for getting around the area. It scores high in almost all areas, so it's a well-deserved first place. But yeah, I'm gonna say it once again, these are heavily influenced by my own opinion. This isn't the official ranking of the devices. Having said that, I want to know what your go-to device is. Which one is your favorite to use? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!